Hello, and welcome to my podcast episode in which I will be analyzing one of my texts included in my bibliography that revolves around the theme of identity. In the short fictional story of The Belonging Kind by John Shirley and William Gibson, a scholarly man named Michael Karetti follows a woman from bar to bar out of jealousy because of her ability to magically change her entire appearance depending on the place she goes. The woman also never got drunk, no matter how many drinks she consumed in one night, which is a quite inhuman quality besides her magical ability. By the end of the story, the man turns into the quote-unquote belonging kind, similar to the being of the woman. The authors portray identity conformity throughout the story and how it can take away the true identities of people as well as their humanity. People need to refuse to give into identity conformity out of jealousy in order to build and claim their own character, because it is an important part of bringing purpose in their lives as human beings. Firstly, giving into identity conformity prevents one from properly building their own individuality and proves their humanity inauthentic and a lack of purpose. At the beginning of the story, Karetti failed to realize his worth and his attempt to create his own character. Apparently, he wasn't very social and he didn't know how to dress properly to meet the societal fashion standards at all. As the woman seemed like the opposite of his character, this led Karetti to feel jealous easily and allow himself to commit acts that would soon lead to his created false identity. The inhuman quality of the woman is initially shown when she shifts her entire appearance as she travels from a bar to a club. As quoted, "He looked back up at her, and the dress was another dress, green satin, shifting with reflections. Her shoes had changed too." As this woman shifts her appearance and character in order to suit the vibes of each place she headed to, this proves she does not hold one true identity, therefore may not live a meaningful life. Overall, identity conformity can prevent one from properly forming their own individuality, and it doesn't prove that their humanity is authentic and purposeful. Secondly, giving into conformity out of jealousy allows one's individuality to demolish, as they will be made up of the identities that belong to someone else or multiple people. After Karetti became so intrigued with the woman and her male companion who had the same ability and accompanied her travels, he began to suffer in his work, money, and appetite because of how attached he was to the duo with false identities. As quoted, "He was using his credit card now, though he was already badly in the hole under visa." At this point, it seemed like Karetti's life only revolved around this couple he was following around, influencing himself and allowing his jealousy to become someone with the possible potential to approach this woman. However, this actually happens at the end of the story, where Karetti transforms into the quote-unquote belonging kind, which is also the same being as the woman, therefore gave into identity conformity. The story narrates that Karetti had become two men, one described as the inner soul with arousing feelings towards the woman, the other described as the outer shell that sat at the bar, as well as described the way Karetti delivered his words, as quoted, like a real human being. Which is ironic because Karetti is not human anymore. Instead, he shares the same identity as the woman and will most likely have the same outcome as her due to his lack of individuality. Therefore, one's individuality can demolish if they give into conformity out of jealousy, as their minds will comply with the identities of someone else or multiple people. All in all, John Shirley and William Gibson's short story of The Belonging Kind shows an example of giving into identity conformity and how it can take away the true identities of people as well as their ability to seek purpose in their lives. Identity conformity can prevent one from properly forming their own individuality, and it doesn't prove that their humanity is authentic and purposeful. As well as, one's individuality can demolish if they give into conformity out of jealousy, as their minds will comply with the identities belonging to someone else or multiple people. In order to build and claim a character, people need to refuse to give into identity conformity because it can take away an important part of bringing purpose in their lives as a human being. The authors depict a story that revolves around topics and ideas that are relevant today, as our society still consists of people comparing themselves to others and wanting their identities. You've been listening to an analysis on the short story The Belonging Kind by John Shirley and William Gibson. Credits to John Shirley's and William Gibson's original story called The Belonging Kind, and credits to YouTube channel MRIR for producing the instrumental original song Still With You by Jungkook that is used in this podcast. I'm Klara Javier, and thank you for listening.